This series was made for fun purposes. Watch at your own risk. Mickey Milkovich, also known as Mickey Gallavich. With being loved by almost 99% of the fandom, I tend to think about the 1% who doesn't love Mickey. Maybe they assume he is the
dirtiest white boy in America.
Or just believe that he's a terrible guy for Ian. But if we were to dive deeper than the surface level, you start to see that Mickey is more than just a dirty white boy, but instead a loving dirty white boy. You see, in this new series, I wanted to take the most loved or hated characters from Shameless and actually explain why they are loved or hated. And of course, the first one on my list is no one other than Mickey Milkovich. But before I start, let me give you some background on what Shameless is. Shameless, a show that's considered a guilty pleasure with one glance over at the TV screen while watching with someone else, you're likely to see sex, violence, alcoholics, or excessive swearing, making you question whether you should be watching it or not.
Hey! Fuck you! Fuck you! And especially fuck you!
But if you were to look deeper, Shameless is more than just violence and sex, but instead about the Gallaghers, a shameless family trying to survive in the south side of Chicago filled with love, consisting of the single parent, Frank, the alcoholic father that neglects his children's needs, Monica, a bipolar druggie who abandons her family with 6 children, Fiona, the oldest, known as the caretaker to her siblings, Lip, the second oldest, known as the smartest, Ian, the third oldest, very highly motivated yet distant from his family, Debbie, the third youngest, known as the mature one, who wants to be treated as an adult, Carl, the second youngest, known as the rebellious one with being involved in criminal activities, and Liam, the baby. Sadly, looking deeper than the surface level isn't what many do, hence the phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover." One character in Shameless that is solely based on their appearance is Ian Gallagher's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Mikhailo Mickey Alexander Milkovich. From the beginning of the series, Mickey has been seen as this delinquent with terrible qualities and considered bad for Ian, yet deep down, Mickey is a loving and sensitive person willing to do anything for anyone he loves. With the world Mickey was raised in,
Put some clothes on. You two look like a couple of fags.
his character development,
Everyone else?
Who gives a shit about everybody else? What fucking difference does it make?
You're not even wearing yours. You got it around your neck. You can just tuck it in there and no one even has to see it.
and how he expresses his love, Mickey Milkovich shouldn't be considered a bad guy, but instead the best character on Shameless. And today, I will show you why he is the most loved character on Shameless. Children's opinions, beliefs, and lifestyles are all shaped by the environment they were raised in, whether that be on their race, ethnicity, demographic, religion, or even their parents' beliefs. Parents having an impact on how their children are raised affect not only who they are, but their relationship as a whole. According to the article Parenting Skills, Parents' Attitude and Beliefs, Their Impact on Children's Development, child-rearing attitudes are perceptions that make an individual to act either positively or negatively towards a child. Attitudes most frequently considered involve the degree of warmth and acceptance or coldness and rejection that exists in the parent-child relationship, as well as the extent to which parents are permissive or restrictive in the limits they set for their offspring. After protecting Mandy Milkovich from a pedo teacher, Ian is put in a situation of Mandy falling for him but rejects her, and instead of accepting the rejection, Mandy accuses Ian of assaulting her, which then comes Mickey Milkovich blessing America's and everyone around the world's TV screen. Mickey is at first depicted by audiences, according to the article Mickey Milkovich, a character analysis of Shameless' best piece of Southside trash, as a hardened thug with a nasty mouth. With his attitude, appearance, and actions, there's no reason for Mickey to not be seen as this bully, with even beating up Lip while looking for Ian. After Ian confesses to Mandy that he is gay, she calls off her brothers, but that doesn't stop Mickey from stealing from the store. Now, why would Mickey continue stealing from the store after Mandy called her brothers off? Well, if we were to look deeper into Mickey's life, we would see Mickey's tough guy persona is a result of how he was raised.
Hey, did Mickey pay for that? You have to stand up to him, Cash.
What the hell was I supposed to say?
How about we cut out the shit or I'll call the cops?
I tried that once with his father.
What do I owe you now?
In Season 1, Episode 8, It's Time to Kill the Turtle, Terry, Mickey's father, is first seen by audiences as a hardened thug with a nasty... Oh, wait, that's exactly how Mickey is interpreted. It's almost as if Mickey was raised by him. Flash forward to season 2, Mickey is out of juvie and is now working at Cash and Grab with Ian as they continue to partake on their Friends with Benefits. Yet all good things come to an end as Ian and Mickey are caught having sex by Frank. Mickey is afraid of Frank telling anyone, especially Terry, about what he saw, saying,
If my dad finds out about this, he will kill me himself.
Mickey is terrified of his father to the point of planning on murdering someone just so his father doesn't find out he's gay. Ian proceeds to assure Mickey that he's fine, even comparing their relationship to Fiona and all her boyfriends and Lip and all his girls, as Frank has walked in on them with saying, "We got nothing to be ashamed of." But in Mickey's point of view, it's not the same. Mickey asks Ian,
What fucking world do you live in?
which is the exact question that separates Ian's world from Mickey's. According to Andrew Stern, Ethan Farkle, and Mark Malloyd,
no Fiona in the Milkovich household. That's the big difference. In the Gallagher household, there is a mother, and therefore there is a semblance of family, of structure and support.
You get the sense of the joy in that house and the familial love that's in that house.
Fiona has brought up the Gallagher clan with a sense of right from wrong, where the Milkoviches don't know how to handle anything any differently because that's how they were raised.
Going back to season 2, Mickey is sent back to juvie after violating his parole instead of killing Frank, for a reason no one knows. But we'll come back to that later. Season 3 is here and Mickey invites Ian to crash at his place.
Was I just invited to a sleepover?
Fuck you is what you were invited to.
Sadly, Terry catches Ian and him in the act, resulting in Terry to brutally beat them up, and hires Svetlana, a female prostitute, to rape
The faggot out of you, kid.
Later on, Ian attempts to maybe help Mickey accept who he is. Sadly, that's not the case, as Mickey beats Ian up. And going back to what Andrew Stern, Ethan Frankel, and Mark Malloyd said, Milkoviches don't know how to handle anything any differently because that's how they were raised. Which goes back to Terry. As seen earlier, Terry beats up Mickey and Ian after catching them instead of actually using his words. Mickey, out of fear of his father, goes as far as marrying Svetlana after knocking her up with his father being nothing more than ecstatic. Mickey also mentions in season 10 all the terrible things Terry has done to him and his siblings and cousins when they were younger.
Do you remember when we were kids, we'd go trick-or-treating? As soon as we got home, who took all the candy? Before my mom ran out when she still could buy us Christmas presents, who opened everything up, took what he wanted, and pawned the rest? Who handed us over to family services for a year so he could run drugs for the Sinaloa cartel?
Your dad?
Mickey's childhood and how he was raised isn't who Mickey is, but instead who he's supposed to be. Terry's parenting wasn't the best, making Mickey into this bully when deep down that isn't who Mickey is.
Need advice, actually.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Look.
Yes, he has tough skin, but he's actually just a broken boy who wants love and be loved. Which now leads into my next topic, his character development. Mickey was one of the many characters that had not only matured, but has fully developed a new persona, so to speak. Going back to season 2, as previously stated earlier, Ian and Mickey are caught by Frank, having Mickey afraid of Frank telling Terry about the situation.
We gotta kill him.
Ian tries to calm Mickey down by explaining to him that they have nothing to be ashamed of, which Mickey proceeds to say that,
Yeah, you're nothing but a warm mouth to me.
which isn't even a cover-up on him being gay. But Ian literally is nothing but a warm mouth to him. According to the article Mickey Milkovich, a character analysis of Shameless, best piece of Southside trash, Mickey's understanding of his own sexual orientation is conflicted at best. For him, having sex with Ian is simply something that feels good. It's not meant to be anything more or less. Thus, when he tells Ian not to kiss him or he'll...
Cut your fucking tongue out.
He's not just saying that to keep up appearances. Kissing implies something more than just sex, and his relationship with Ian is purely sexual because he is not gay, no matter what he does behind closed doors. What Mickey and Ian do is more of a booty call instead of an actual relationship. But if we flash forward to season 4, episode 11, Emily, Ian asks if they are a couple or not, to which Mickey responds,
Of course we are.
When comparing both scenes, we see a huge difference between how Mickey actually sees Ian. That's not the only character development Mickey's had involving his relationship with Ian. In season 1, when visiting Mickey in juvie, Ian tells Mickey,
I miss you.
With Mickey responding with,
You say it again, I'll rip your tongue out of your head.
flash forward to season 3 and tables are turned as Mickey tells Ian how much he's missed him,
Missed you.
having not only the audience confused, but Ian as well. In season 2, Mickey literally tells Ian they aren't girlfriend and boyfriend.
What do you think, we're boyfriend and girlfriend here? You're nothing but a warm mouth to me.
Flash forward to season 5, Mickey's telling the police officer that Ian is his
partner. Lover. Family.
Mickey's love for Ian has grown throughout the years, making him a better character, for he's actually beginning to open up. But going back to season 2, when attempting to kill Frank, we begin to see the real change in Mickey. For he ends up not killing Frank, but instead violates his probation. But why didn't he just kill him? There are many people online who say Mickey either wouldn't know how to explain to his family why he didn't kill Frank, and would rather go to juvie so no one could question him. Or maybe he thought he'd be safer in juvie if Frank were to tell Terry. But I believe he didn't want to kill Frank, for Ian expressed his concern for him.
He's had 24 hours to run his mouth already. Where is he? He won't.
Where the fuck is he?
I don't know. Bullshit! You warned him.
Frank's walked in on Fiona and all of her boyfriends, walked in on Lip and his girls.
And Mickey actually beginning to care for Ian, so he'd rather let the situation die down while in juvie, trusting Ian when he says Frank will keep his mouth shut. I mean, it seems pretty accurate, as Mickey seems to contemplate before killing Frank and would rather keep Ian in his life, which would mean he couldn't kill Frank. This was the first time anyone sees Mickey stop and think, which opens up the opportunities for his character development. As stated earlier, Mickey is seen as this hardened thug. But would a hardened thug really stop and contemplate killing his booty call's father? In season 3, Ian continues to sleep with Ned, an older gentleman, after he finds out Mickey sleeps with other people too. Mickey begins to get jealous and asks what Ian sees in Ned, to which Ian replies that Ned
Isn't afraid to kiss me.
A couple of scenes later, and bam, Mickey surprises Ian with a kiss. Comparing this scene to season 1,
Kiss me and I'll cut your fucking tongue out.
to 2 seasons later where Mickey initiates their first kiss, come on. Can't tell me that's not character development. Mickey's character development has shown his growth in accepting who he is. Mickey accepting himself was a huge improvement, but what really made him who he is how he expressed his love for Ian in season 4 and 5. Mental illness doesn't just affect those with it, but also those around them, especially those not knowing what to do. In season 4, Ian begins to show symptoms of bipolar disorder, a brain disorder that causes unusual shifts in mood, energy, activity levels, and the ability to carry out day-to-day tasks. One morning, Mickey notices that Ian begins to act differently as he doesn't want to get out of bed. Mickey decides to get help from the Gallaghers, to which they believe Ian may have bipolar disorder. Fiona attempts to tell Mickey that Ian needs to get some type of help, but Mickey doesn't want to commit him to a nut house, and tells Fiona that they can take care of Ian there. Even though it shows how much Mickey genuinely cares about Ian, it starts to backfire on him with season 5 beginning with Ian's bipolar becoming uncontrollable. Mickey finally realizes that no matter what he does, he can't help Ian and tells him that he needs professional help, to which Ian disagrees and ends up kidnapping Mickey's baby, Yevgeny. This leads Mickey down a downward spiral filled with sadness, anger, and most importantly, guilt. Ian and Yevgeny are found by police, to which Mickey, Lip, Debbie, and Carl all go down to the police station to pick them up. Mickey begins to feel guilty in the sense that the conversation between Lip and Mickey seems to be blaming Mickey for doing what he thought was right, taking care of Ian instead of taking him to get professional help.
Sorry. Should have listened to you.
Yeah, you should have.
I didn't know things could get this bad.
Got worse. Got much worse.
According to the article, 10 things you didn't know about guilt. Guilt-prone people assume they've harmed others when they haven't, by overinterpreting people's disapproval when it's not there. You're exposing yourself to constant and unnecessary stress and impacting your own quality of life. Indeed, guilt is a burden in more ways than we imagine. With the guilt and stress, Mickey begins to distance himself after visiting Ian in the hospital and realizes that Ian is much more worse than what he thought. Guilt can make you avoid the person you wrong. This tendency to avoid reminders of guilt can even extend to more distantly related people and to locations and things. What Mickey did had good intentions, as he genuinely did everything out of love, but the situation became something that one person couldn't solve on their own. Mickey ends up giving in and goes to Ian, telling him he's
Sorry I'm late.
and lies there with Ian. Mickey continues to care for Ian as he calms him down during his manic episodes and takes him to his doctor's appointment. But Ian seems to dislike Mickey for his behavior towards him, acting as his nurse. According to the article Bipolar Disorders and Shameless, the reason why Ian Gallagher is not out of character. Unfortunately, as so often happens when the person you love is sick, it's inevitable to be concerned and more interested to the disease than the person itself. Mickey begins to smother Ian with his love, so to speak. Sadly, it's interpreted as something else. In Season 5, Episode 12, Love Songs in the Key of Gallagher, Ian has been brainwashed by Monica and breaks up with Mickey. And yes, Mickey and Debbie had set up a plan to attempt to hurt Sammy after she snitched on Ian, but that was all out of love. Going back to Mickey's life, Mickey's way of showing love would mean hurting someone who hurt someone he loved, and that's how he was raised. When Mandy tells her brothers that Ian assaulted her, Mickey and his brothers try to beat up Ian. Mickey had been there for Ian through thick and thin, changed his life completely for Ian, and even ended up in prison for getting revenge on someone that wronged Ian. And yes, Mickey had shown his love for Ian in multiple other seasons, such as in Season 9, when he rolled on a cartel just to get locked up with Ian, or in Season 4 when he spoke sense into him after going AWOL. But during Season 4 and 5, Mickey begins to finally get out from his shell, as he's finally came out and free and can express his love for Ian freely rather to himself. I'd like to now add in a few honorable mentions I have not mentioned throughout this video.
FaceTime your brother, see the baby.
You must really love cock.
I definitely love one.
Work.
God damn it, why does everything always have to suck? This is my fucking wedding day! Fucking bitch,
Okay.
hard, that's a sin. Yeah.
Not yet, no.
That's what I'm talking about.
Bet your white ass burns like a motherfucker.
Well, at least I don't have to hide in a cop until the sun goes down.
And on this note, I'd like to say that Mickey was raised with hate, but learned how to love, showing that anyone can change with just a little bit of love. Now, if you like this video, please hit subscribe and thumbs it up and share. Make sure to comment below which character you'd like for me to do next and talk about why they are loved or either hate, or even if they're hated, why they're loved. Whatever, you just post it and I will make it. I will also make sure to link in my bio all the articles that I have used for this research, and I'll make sure to link the research paper that I made if you'd like to read it. It's free, you can read it online, it's like a transcript. But anyway, until next time.
Adios, motherfucker!